All right, have and have not fans, we're going to be talking about my episode review for Smitten, which came on Tuesday night. And as you already know from my episode trailer breakdown for Moles, I'm just now getting to this video because thankfully I was able to get a new recording microphone in the mail yesterday. So it looks like the episode trailer breakdown for Moles is doing pretty good. At the time of this recording, it's about to crack 5,000 views. So thank you all so much. And also, the channel is over 33,000 subscribers. I don't think it's gained 1,000 subscribers in what, 3 or 4 days. That's a new record for the channel. So I cannot thank you all enough for the support you've been giving me. And you know, just keep the train moving, share the channel around, let other have and have not as well as Tyler Perry fans know, hey, there's this guy on YouTube who does all these amazing trailer breakdowns, episode reviews, theories, discussions. I couldn't do it without you. So with that being said, you know, the picture shows you. If you haven't done so already, just take a moment to hit that subscribe button and let's just jump into the episode. Right off the bat, I'm going to give this episode 8.5 out of 10. And probably a new format I'll start doing. I think I've done it the past couple weeks. Let me just talk about the things I didn't like about the episode, and then I'll dive into what I did like. You know, that way you get an idea of why didn't you give this episode a 10 out of 10. I'll just tell you the bad, then I'll talk about the good and just my overall thoughts. Basically, you know, I was at home. Well, excuse me, I am at home. I'm going to be home maybe for 2 weeks or so. And, you know, watching it with my mom, I was able to live tweet. It was definitely great being able to talk with other people live during the episode as opposed to like the morning after. There were three things about the episode that just rubbed me the wrong way. Number one, and you heard me say this in plenty of videos leading up to the episode having to do with Justin and Jeffrey. I've just gotten to the point where if Jeffrey doesn't take David's advice to not only just accept his help in order to get rid of Justin, not so much kill Justin, but to make sure Justin doesn't bother Jeffrey anymore, but to be honest with his obsessive behavior, it wouldn't surprise me if the only way to get Justin to go away is to permanently get rid of him, if you know what I mean. But it really just gets on my nerves due to the fact that Jeffrey's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I want. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so look, don't get me wrong. What I will give Tyler Perry points for is adding realism to this show by talking about different elements and, you know, different stories, you know, whether it be abusive relationships, you know, police brutality, crooked politicians, and the list goes on, you know, all kinds of things that happen in the real world that are being melded into this show. It's kind of like a melting pot, but it's just ridiculous how Jeffrey's being written to be such an idiot. But again, I say there are people out there, men and women, who are in relationships where they just stand by their partner even if they're treated like crap. But the fact that Justin literally destroyed this place like a rabid dog you let off the chain, and he just keeps delivering the same, I'm sorry, forgive me, say you forgive me, say you love me. I just don't buy it. I don't know if it's the whole, you know, is it because it's two straight men playing gay characters? I don't know. And also, just a little side note, I've been thinking about doing these kind of, you know, just discussion videos where I just talk about, you know, is the gay community being properly represented in the show? Then another video I'll do is, are black women being stereotyped in the show? Because I really want to get feedback on that in terms of speaking with other viewers in the comment section. You know, let me know, like, do you feel offended by the way a certain gender or people group is being depicted on this show? I mean, obvious reasons, because, you know, being the fact that I'm not part of the gay community and obviously I'm not a black woman, I just wanted to kind of gauge the fan base, because I see a lot of things on social media after an episode where you have people from the gay community saying Tyler Perry's, you know, this is offensive, not because of the fact that you have straight men playing gay characters, but the fact that any kind of homosexual relationship on this show is either being looked down upon. Veronica is just like homophobic. And then when it comes to black women, it's like, look, Tyler Perry, I know that there are men and women out there who are crazy about their significant other, but also their lifestyle in terms of, look, don't mess around with my wife, don't mess around with my husband. But to like go through the extremes of burning houses, vehicles, and calling hits on other people, there has been a lot of anger in the haves and have not community. Let's just put it that way. But going back to why I didn't like this scene, it's just ridiculous how Jeffrey is going through this same crap over and over again. Because like I said before, if Jeffrey doesn't stand up for himself and just kick Justin to the curb, I am just done with the character. Whatever happens to Jeffrey at this point, I'm throwing my hands up because I don't really give a damn. But the fact that, you know, he claims he's going to go to some group at his job, you know, I'm guessing for, you know, personal issues, anger management and stuff, which makes sense due to the fact that, as his boss said, you know, what you just did, you know, has gone viral and everybody in the office is talking about it. You've pretty much not just dishonored yourself, but also the fact you made this, I guess you could say he embarrassed the police station. So it makes sense he would have to go to some kind of group. But the fact that Jeffrey doesn't just say, you know what, I can't deal with this, I'm done. I mean, even David called him out for it, was like, Jeffrey, isn't this what you went to school for? And I'm like, that is very true. And like, you know, Jeffrey said once before, you know, you're the last person to try to tell me about being in a relationship with the wrong person for you. That's true, Jeffrey, but at the same time, you've seen everything your father has went through. Now you are going through the same thing without trying to get out of it. It's like you just keep saying it's your moment of weakness. You know what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I literally went on a tangent like that because I didn't want this video to go on too long. Maybe I'll do a separate video on that. I promise I'll do that. But moving on to the next thing I didn't like. Dang. And trust and believe, this is getting something too. I don't know what it was. I think aside from Wyatt, because we only got a brief Wyatt scene and I didn't mind it. I mean, we know what's going to happen next week, but we just got a little brief stop in. Jeffrey going to check on Wyatt. Not much to say about that. Why is it that the children in this show were all idiots in this episode? I'm talking Jeffrey, Benny, and Candace. Not talking about Wyatt because he's in rehab. So, you know, he's just like he's kind of like in the corner right now, you know, nobody puts baby in the corner. Yeah, they putting Wyatt away in the straitjacket. But it's just like all the children of the main cast who are adults, they're okay. Was I the only one that was just like, are you freaking kidding me when Candace said she didn't know about the joint account? I feel like a lot of people were like, Benny has a joint account with Hannah. People were dogging Benny for that. But I didn't see enough. I did see some, but I didn't see a lot of people like me who were just like, out of all, you see what I mean when these smart characters are just thrown a bone and they do one dumb thing? Doesn't it seem out of character for Candace not to know that it was a joint account? It just seems like her being so on top of things, no pun intended now, I'm talking about intellectual stuff, planning and scheming, that the one hiccup is the fact that it's a joint account. That just seems so weird to me. And then the fact at the end of the episode that Benny was about to go move the money, but then was like, oh, I can't do it because mama has to sign it too. So even when you go to Candace trying to persuade Benny, the fact that it's a joint account, why didn't she just say, you know what, it won't work because Hannah has to sign it? I don't know why, but I was just so out of character, at least to me. And trust and believe, we've dealt with Candace doing a lot of things on the show, but it just felt like that just rubbed me the wrong way. Does anybody else know what I mean? Like the fact that these characters are so calculating, so cold, and so on top of things when it comes to their plans, but not knowing one little detail just rolls the entire thing off the tracks. So it just felt weird to me. And also the other part about that, you know, why this episode didn't get out of 10 is the fact that Benny, just like Jeffrey, you have seen and experienced what it's like to be a part of your sister's world, either by covering up something she's done, getting involved with her somehow, and the fact that you legitimately heard her say that this money was gotten through blackmail. You still, you know, I understand being enticed by $1 million, like $1 million, but then it's like, no, this ain't legit. And it's like, how can any blackmail be legit? And then it's like, I think Hannah or Benny, because it was weird because Hannah and Benny were both speaking truth, but then we saw Benny just get dumber as the scene went on. It's just like, so Benny, you've gone through, you know, your sister blackmailing somebody for money, getting a house and a tow yard, and then because of even more lies, being the fact that she got Erica to get those documents with the Ford signature, you lost the tow yard in the house. Now you want to jump back in, get $1 million from God knows who, she blackmailed from, and then go about your merry way. What the hell, Benny? What the hell? And you know what? Even though I said in the previews, as well as, when I did a trailer breakdown for Smitten, as well as other videos in the past, I didn't want to see the old, nagging, crying Hannah. Because, she is finally, seems to be getting happy as the episodes progress. I didn't mind Hannah in this episode as much as I thought I would. Because, again, a lot of people are like, man, Hannah, she's a Florida Evans of the haves and the have-not. Damn. Because it did look like she was about to throw a chair at one point when she asked Benny where the money came from. And he was like, no, this isn't Catherine. And then he makes the call to Candace and she goes off. But Hannah was speaking the truth. Yeah, it sounds like a broken record, but I'm not going to blame her because it needs to be said, because it's the same damn story every time. And there's another video I'm going to do about Candace, because allegedly she's supposed to be this bad bitch of the show, but she has nothing to show for all of her schemes and everything. Every time it seems like she gets a big chunk of a payoff or a payday, she ends up losing it somehow and then goes about, executing a new plan. That's not as impressive because, as Benny said in the funeral home, that's insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, trying to get a different result. I mean, yeah, the result is, oh, I'm going to get even more of a payday. $7.4 million. Now I got almost $9 million. And then I started off with $100,000 through blackmail. Look at me now. But it all goes back to the fact that you just lose it all at the drop of a hat because of your stupid decisions that you make. And my gosh, yes, folks, I will be doing a video talking about my thoughts about Candace wanting to, I'm just going to say, put a hit out on her mother, because it's not necessarily about killing her, but it's at the point where if the hired muscle or Candace can't persuade Hannah to sign the bait documents, then they're going to have to rough her up. And that is just inexcusable. I feel like Tyler Perry has definitely gotten more people talking about this show in the past 2 or 3 episodes based off these cliffhangers, whether it be David slapping Veronica, whether it be Candace calling a hit on her own mother. Things are getting, I tell you that the cliffhanger of this season, my gosh, if Tyler Perry keeps up the steam, I feel like this is going to be one of the best cliffhangers that this show has ever given us in the past 4 seasons, not counting season 5 where we're in now. But overall, I feel like another, just one comedic moment was the fact that, did you see Benny looking like he was about to, run when the cops were knocking on the door? It looked like he was in a position, like his arm moved and he kind of hunched over like he was about to make a break for it. And I'm like, where are you going, Benny? Where are you going? And also, where is Melissa? Because I was actually thinking to myself, I wonder if Candace is going to go in there and then Melissa will be downstairs and then they'll meet each other for the first time since, I want to say, at the Sarandon Hotel when Candace made Melissa take all those pregnancy tests just to confirm she was pregnant. This was after Amanda's funeral. So yeah, if those two meet up, that'll be pretty interesting just to see them on screen together. I mean, this is the first time, the Candace will be meeting the new Melissa. And my gosh, that'll be interesting to say the least. But in any case, wow, Candace's reaction will be interesting. The fact that she knows that Benny was banging Veronica and then also Melissa at the same. Oh, God, don't even get me started. I don't know if she has any powerful sleeping meds or if she's going to pull a Veronica and just rush down the stairs to see her man being taken away by the cops. We'll just have to wait and see how that turns out. That'll be interesting because remember that, Jeffrey told Melissa, or Melissa overheard that Jeffrey had murdered a man, Quincy, and now, we have Benny being taken away for a supposed murder, being the guy Vinny at the bar, which it wasn't him, but still, Melissa really knows how to pick him. All right. I know we're jumping around here, but this episode it really was good, aside from the nitpicks I had with the Justin and Jeffrey thing, as well as the Candace and Benny stuff. Benny just, I don't know why that just rubbed me the wrong way, aside from Candace not knowing about the joint account. Just the fact that Benny just, again, it was stupid. Like, what's going to happen. I mean, I thought we were getting some redemptive Benny young scenes due to the fact that he's finally coming to grips that I'm an idiot. Let me try to make things right. Give the money back to the mob. Now that only made things worse because I got caught at the wrong place at the wrong time. I wonder if Veronica's going to contact him, because remember he was going to get Veronica to help. But Veronica, let's talk about that scene where she calls Derek over. Sorry about that, Derek. You know what, let me go to the beginning of the episode because I feel like I'm talking about the good stuff now. Again, the fact that we picked up where he left off, 2 thumbs up. I loved it. RK needs to sit his ass down. He has nothing to do with grown folks' business, but kudos to him for trying to, you know, prevent any more, you know, harm being done to Veronica. Yes, he's a little boy, but at the same time, you know, if you are in a position to potentially stop a domestic violence situation, then, you know, kudos to him for that. But at the same time, like, you know, kind of back off. Like, David held his own with Benny. So I don't think that RK would be able to beat him. I'm just saying, especially with David about to turn into the freaking Hulk. You see, he's like, you made my life hell. I know that sounded weak on my part, but, you know, remember, I'm at my parents' house. I think my sister is in the back sleeping. So, you know, I'm just trying to not make that much noise. But if I was at my apartment, darn right, I would do that full yell. And just to people, I love how people were commenting like, Jeremy, did you hear when it's like, Mama, he hit me. He hit me. I did not catch that. Thank you. I need to do a video about that because literally, aside from slapping the drunkenness out of Veronica, it's like David hit whatever sense was left. She literally had a psychotic break. It's like, I can't believe he hit me. I can't believe he hit me. And she just keeps on mumbling stuff. And I was like, oh, damn, this is like Amanda doing the eeny, meeny, miny, mo. So, yeah, Veronica, yeah. So basically, you know, the threats were made. Take your best shot. I will, literally. I'm coming after our son twice as hard now. You know, yelling at RK to get out. And then the fact that he was wearing like his boxers and he had a towel on his shoulder. So did RK put his clothes in his car before he left? Because I don't think it would be a good idea if he left his jeans there. Veronica discovers them and then also finds out that there was jewelry he had pickpocketed and put in his own jeans and forgot them. Meaning that if he does come over, I'm pretty sure Veronica will take care of him. That's all I'm saying on that. But also the fact that I could have sworn literally when she grabbed that phone and sat on the couch, I thought that she was going to call her mother. Before she said it, you know, before Derek's voice came over, I thought she was going to call her mother. That would have been awesome. But it was Derek come over with some phone numbers, basically because some business from 15 years ago, basically his old life. You know, the fact that he talks about how he's in his 3rd quarter of life. Let me just say that he's probably getting numbers from, you know, one of his, maybe his 1st or 2nd quarter. I'll leave it at that. But basically Derek comes over. And if you know, here's how you know Veronica means business. This is what, there were no jokes. There was no drunkenness. Veronica stone cold. Her voice and dialogue was just so frosty, like the Ice Queen in full effect. You know, there was nothing comical about that scene. Yeah, she made a little pass at Derek's like, I can't wait till the next time I need a favor or something like that. And Derek wasn't having it. I mean, if anything, he, you know, threatened on Veronica. And that's what's really getting me. You know, Veronica wants all these, you know, hits on people, yet she's not really taking into account for all the people who want to put a hit on her. That's very interesting to think about. But yeah, I really need to see if there's anyone out there who might have a high quality photo or screenshot of when they did a close up on the numbers, basically that piece of paper that Derek handed Veronica. I couldn't really get a good shot. So maybe if I'm able to get the legible, you know, writing, I might do a video on that. But yeah, it looks like Veronica's going to be pulling a Jim from season 3 where he's going to be calling for a bloodbath, or excuse me, where she's going to be calling for a bloodbath. But of course, we'll get more information in the next episode. And then we have freaking David going over to the I already talked about the condo. The fact that, you know, he talked about throwing Justin off the balcony. He's like, that's a $6,000 couch and a $50,000. Was it 15 or 50,000? A $50,000 oil painting. It's like, can you afford that? No. Like I thought. My thing was, if I were David, like, first of all, stay the hell away from my son, or I'm gonna, you know, it's just crazy. Or the fact that, you know, Jeffrey, I'm not going to refurbish this place until you kick this guy to the curb, because there's no way you messing up my good shit and not being able to pay for it to replace it. So I'll just leave it at that. And also, it's like, how is Justin going to afford it? Because, you know, he's been disowned by his family. He literally signed away his wife and child. I'm not blaming his wife for that at all. Justin was the one that signed those papers as fast as Wyatt went through like a freaking bag of cocaine. That's how fast. He didn't read over it. He didn't think about it. He just signed it away willingly for a man he claims he loves but doesn't even really know. So, When David went over to Jim, one of my favorite scenes of the episode, just the fact that Jim's reaction to David pimp slapping Veronica is the same reaction all of us have been talking about over the past week. You gave that bitch wings. It's like you gave her wings. It's like you gave her range. It's like I pimp slapped her and she flew across the room. It's like, well, to be fair, I swear there's no telling how far she would have went if that couch didn't break or fall. Because you know when she hit the couch, you know the pillows fell down too. He probably would have pimp slapped her all the way to the kitchen. So that was really funny, just the dialogue between those two. But on a serious note, Jim was like, you know she's going to retaliate even harder. So David made things worse. I'm just going to leave it at that. He made things worse. But I do like these little friendly scenes between David and Jim. It really is like a throwback to season 1 and to some extension season 2. Sarah comes over, gets the bullets, but before that, you got the old perverted guard at the evidence counter. That was hilarious. The way he was like, yeah, man, that's a wet dream. You ain't never getting that. And maybe it was good on Sarah because, as Jim said, you know, sleep your way into the evidence room if you have to. Luckily enough, she didn't have to do that. She went claiming to be looking at another case, got the bullets, and came on out of there. And even before that, you know, the fact that George, another cop, and Sarah were looking at the camera. So it seems like there wasn't another video camera inside of the Malone bar, but there was on the outside. My question is, why don't you look at the times of when these people are going in and out? That's my thing. You have Jim and Wyatt coming out, then you have Benny coming out, but let's look at the times here. Yeah, you have that one witness talking about, you know, Benny's description, but let's just time it. You know, what did the doctors do? When did they clock Benny laying out on the ground? How long you been bleeding out and stuff like that? Because if Wyatt and Jim went inside the bar first, wouldn't they have been the ones to have something to do with it? Especially due to the fact that they were exiting the bar when it wasn't even open. That's the one thing that bothers me the most about that, but maybe the truth will be revealed soon enough. Sarah goes over, gives the bullets. Jim, being a freaking creeping ass just cheater, wants to have sex in his wife's house, and thankfully Sarah scooted out of there as fast as she could in those heels, and that's the end of that, of course, until next week. And luckily enough, you know, she wasn't caught sleeping with Jim in his wife's house, because I'm pretty sure Sarah would have been another Jennifer Salison and shot down. But unlike Jennifer, I feel like, you know, Catherine would have more of a legitimate reason to shoot this bitch. But then we're going to talk about let's see, not much to talk about the Charles and Landon thing. It really just annoys me because I feel like I'm not the only one that knows. I heard Landon being called out by Charles for not being into women. I mean, Charles like said, like, I got a feeling you're not even into women, are you? But he said it in a way where it's like, you know, he's not 100% sure, but it's like, yeah, it was full up Chucky right there, not Charles. And then, you know, him being so, there were a lot of people who were dumb in this episode. Charles being oblivious, Erica thinking she's going to get money from Candace, and now I've already done a video about that. But the fact she's ovulating, trying to get pregnant by David, which I feel like that's probably confirmation she's going to die. I feel like that's confirmation she's going to die. I literally do. So now this episode kind of squashes any theories, you know, we've had about, is Erica in it for love or is she in it for the money? It seems like she's literally scheming just to get security as an insurance claim. So it seems to me that Erica is literally in it just for the scheme, not for feelings, which kind of sucks because David is offering her comfort and security, which is something she probably hasn't felt ever. So it looks like Rocky's getting out of hospital in the next episode, which I feel is a mistake because it's like, if I were Rocky, I was, well, you know, I'd say that, you know what, I want to be in this hospital for at least until next season. That way I'm not going to get killed off, but who knows what's going to go down with that. And if I'm not mistaken, that covers everything. Let me double check. Yeah, I think that just about does it. I mean, I kind of grazed over Catherine calling Hannah about the money. I do like how Hannah thought Catherine was the one to put the money in there first. And I'll do a video talking about, you know, Candace putting thugs after Hannah and Justin, and I got various videos coming. But overall, I did enjoy the episode. I just feel like the nitpicks were in terms of, you know, the Justin and Jeffrey stuff, Benny being dumb, Candace not knowing about the joint account. That just feels like an un-Candace thing. But yeah, overall, I feel like it was a pretty solid episode setting up for next week. Moles. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Did you enjoy the episode? On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rank it? Are there any theory videos you want me to do between now and next Tuesday? And if I haven't already added it to the list, I will definitely do so. Thanks again for the support on the channel. Please continue to share my videos around, tell other people about the channel on social media, and I'll talk to you all later.